Hey there, fellow travelers. Welcome to New York Travel Guide. The cultural and financial capital of the USA, if not the world, New York City is an adrenaline-charged, history-laden place that holds immense romantic appeal for visitors. Its past is visible in the tangled lanes of Wall Street and tenements of the Lower East Side. Meanwhile, towering skyscrapers serve as monuments of the modern age. Street life buzzes round the clock and shifts markedly from one area to the next. The waterfront, redeveloped in many places, and the landscaped green spaces, notably Central Park, give the city a chance to catch its breath. Iconic symbols of world culture, the neon of Times Square, the sculptures at Rockefeller Center, always seem just a stone's throw away. For raw energy, dynamism, and social diversity, you'd be hard-pressed to top it. Simply put, there's no place quite like it. Visiting New York should be on every traveler's bucket list. Technically, the Chrysler Building is an office building open Monday through Friday, but you don't need to go inside to appreciate its aesthetic appeal. Recent visitors praised the building's unique architectural style, though a few wished you could still go inside to admire its intricate lobby and elevators. Built in 1930, the Chrysler had a short-lived run as the tallest building in the city before it was usurped of its title by the Empire State Building. Nevertheless, this 1,046-foot-high skyscraper remains a favorite among New Yorkers for its classic Art Deco style. And unlike the Empire State, at this site, you won't need an expensive entry ticket, a strong stomach to stand soaring heights, or patience for long lines to see what all the fuss is about. You can behold the building's menacing gargoyles and triangular openings from many spots in Manhattan. Though the lobby is currently closed to visitors, there have been talks of building an observation deck, though none is available at this time. Known as the People's Playground, this famous amusement area in Brooklyn has witnessed an illustrious past. In the early 1900s, Coney Island enticed New Yorkers to visit with its bathing pavilions, seaside resorts, and amusement park. The Great Depression took its toll on the fun-loving spot, causing many attractions to close. But after years of economic instability, Coney Island has reclaimed its place on the Brooklyn map with a fresh roster of eateries and entertainment, including a July 4th hot dog eating contest and an annual mermaid parade, found along the boardwalk. Coney Island now features several separate amusement parks, as well as a museum, which hosts a variety of exhibits and shows. According to recent visitors, Coney Island is a worthwhile trip in the summer if you have the time and are traveling with young kids who would enjoy the rides. If you're not up for indulging your inner thrill-seeker, you can also walk along the beach, which spans nearly 3 miles and features several sports courts, as well as playgrounds. A walk along the iconic Riegelman Boardwalk is just as memorable, according to recent visitors. It's fitting that St. Patrick's Cathedral would be on the same street as stores like Bergdorf Goodman, Tiffany & Co., and Van Cleef & Arpels. That's because for many people, shopping is a religious experience, and here between 34th and 59th Streets you'll find the Holy Grail. Even if you're not planning to put your credit card to work at high-end stores, travelers say a stroll along Fifth Avenue is a must. It's one of the top places to shop in the city, according to local experts. Plus, during the winter holidays, the street is decked out in festive decor. Some say that Times Square is like a 5-block metaphor for New York City itself. It's exciting, colorful, and always jumping. Others describe this area of Midtown Manhattan as artless, overpriced, and congested. Perhaps this commercial stretch from West 42nd to West 47th Streets is a little of both, and though locals would advise you to avoid it, you should at least catch a glimpse of its neon lights. Most travelers recommend visiting the area after dark to see the marquee displays. Many add checking out Times Square before or after a Broadway show is the perfect time to fit it into your schedule. However, if you're not a fan of crowds, reviewers suggest you avoid this area altogether. Times Square's biggest tourist draw is the annual New Year's Eve ball drop. Revelers crowd the area to see New York's famous Waterford crystal ball descend 77 feet from a pole on the One Times Square building. If you're feeling brave, take a trip to New York in Times Square at this time of year and watch the ball drop for free. Just plan on coming in the early morning and staying all day, and note that the area is super crowded, even by New York standards. This sprawling cathedral sits amid the hustle and distinctively secular bustle of Rockefeller Center. But that doesn't take away from its otherworldly vibe. Whether you're religious or just making an architectural pilgrimage, you can't help but be impressed by St. Patrick's. Opened in 1879, The neo-Gothic cathedral spans the length of an entire city block and features 330-foot spires. Its interior is just as impressive thanks to its numerous altars, stained glass windows, organs, and imposing 9,000-pound bronze doors. The church welcomes more than 5 million visitors annually. Travelers love the historical church's beauty and stained glass windows, but say you don't have to carve out too much time to see it. Previous vacationers also suggest visiting at Christmas time to really see the church in all its glory. The Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum, or simply the Guggenheim, is one of the most well-known art museums in the country. And it's just as renowned for its cutting-edge design as it is for its pieces. The Chrysler Building, designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, stands out on 5th Avenue at 89th Street. Inside, the halls are chock full of works from the likes of Picasso, Cézanne, Degas, Manet, and Van Gogh, among others. Visitors loved the building's design and architecture, but offered more mixed reviews for the art on display. This part park, part museum, part concert hall swallows central Manhattan, and many of the city's most notable attractions are situated next to it or within its limits: the Guggenheim, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and the American Museum of Natural History, to name a few. But travelers insist that you shouldn't just pass through Central Park on your way to another place. This 843-acre green space is a favorite of New Yorkers and tourists. You can come here to exercise, dine, go to the zoo, and more. Almost everyone has a positive impression of the park, but no one has quite the same experience or recommends that you do quite the same thing. There's an almost impossible amount of sights to see here, hidden treasures, indeed, including more than 20 playgrounds, 48 fountains, monuments or sculptures, and 30 bridges. Off-Broadway may not have the glitter of the Great White Way, but these smaller theaters and their productions are often innovative and are no less engaging. Unlike Broadway, these theaters are not centered around Times Square, but scattered all over Manhattan and generally seat fewer people, between 100 to 499 audience members. Smaller venues provide a more intimate experience for plays, musicals, and revues. Many of New York's most famous productions found their start off-Broadway, such as Hair, Rent, and In the Heights. Tickets also are more affordable, generally between $20 and $75 per person. Look for innovative productions at places like the Public Theater, Cherry Lane Theater, or Playwrights Horizons. The Signature Theater showcases revivals and new plays. Finding an empty bench in Washington Square Park after visiting one of the neighborhood's independent bookstores, from the Strand to 3 Lives and Company to Left Bank Books, is a true Lower Manhattan pleasure. Jessica Cauley Clark. The central gathering place of Greenwich Village is Washington Square Park, an almost 10-acre green space known for its downtown buzz. Here, kids splash in the fountain, musicians perform to a crowd, artists sell sketches or photographs, and chess enthusiasts gather to challenge each other to a game. What was historically a cemetery and later a bohemian hotspot is now a neighborhood institution that draws locals and visitors alike with its kids' playground, sizable dog run, and ample shady space for picnics. An arch dedicated to George Washington is the dominant architectural feature of the park. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share.